Hey Dunchbags, what's going on? It's Landon Remixes here, and welcome to my review of the newest record from Late Night Alumni. This one is called Eclipse, and I got hyped for this album after I found out it was releasing. I don't think I actually knew it was releasing until the track This released as a single, and that was probably one of the biggest singles from the record, the biggest right now being Runaway, and which I also think is a little kind of funny considering that Cascade is very close to Galantis, who has a track called Runaway, and then Cascade is obviously the producer for Late Night Alumni. And although he isn't really highlighted on this, the two vocalists, primarily Becky Jean Williams and their guitarist, are both very highlighted in this record, and that's kind of something I actually really liked with this. It showed off a little bit more of a acoustic side and a little bit more of an artsy sound than we've ever seen before with Late Night Alumni, where we've previously seen kind of housey, trancy kind of music, and now we're getting a little bit more deeper and a little bit more artistic, like I had said. I have liked Late Night Alumni ever since I found out Cascade was in the group, and we've also got Cascade's co-writer and co-producer Finn. So essentially this album is what you're hearing, Cascade's new sound, plus the vocals of Becky Jean Williams, and a little bit of guitar and keys from John Hancock. And this record, for the most part, is very enjoyable. And honestly, I think the only downfall about this is that Becky Jean Williams' vocals get very overused, and her range is very high. She doesn't get down much, but honestly, that doesn't get in the way too much. This album is excellent for if you're driving in the car or just want some background music. Just play this record through, and it's very enjoyable. There's a couple of like indie hip-hop kind of sounds on the track Drummer. There's of course the incredible Runaway, which has this awesome deep house drop, and very enjoyable. You'll have to listen to that if you haven't yet. It's getting a lot of attention. And a lot of what's really good about this record is the percussion on this, and the nice little acoustic and string elements that they use in this, and that's kind of what they're really popular for. And I feel like this is a much more enjoyable album than they've ever done before with stuff. Previously it was more just releasing music, and this one actually finally feels like an album. And although I don't want to praise this too much because, like I said, a lot of it does get pretty old, hearing Becky Jean Williams' vocals and hearing that same kind of deep house style, there are a lot of really awesome gold tracks on this record, and especially like the single This. You hear that deep house sound, you hear the strings, and you hear the vocals, and this describes perfectly why this album is so good to me. There are a couple kind of boring tracks, but I feel like even though interludes are good, a lot of this album doesn't really feel like it needs it, considering it's pretty laid back to start with, so they get even more laid back, and it kind of just ruins the mood, I guess. But a lot of this is very enjoyable, and like the track Drummer and Runaway and the first track, Another Word for Love, and we get Joan of Arc. From a lyrical standpoint, this album can get pretty deep. From a production standpoint, this album is fantastic, and maybe if they would have just cut out a little bit of Becky Jean Williams and had some interludes with just instrumentals, then this album could have been absolutely fantastic. But I don't think it was reaching quite there. There isn't much more I can say about this record other than it's the kind of thing you'll hear if you walk into an Abercrombie and Fitch store, and this is the kind of thing that they just play through the whole record, because it's some nice poppy, a little bit of poppy, dancey, house and club type oriented music, and just something you can kind of move to while browsing through things. And I wouldn't say you want to listen to this record at all if you're looking for bangers, like you might be if you want to listen to Cascade. And don't really listen to this record if you're not really into dance music. You probably can't get into it very much, because I think with this one they've actually gone a little bit more of a dance route than they have previously. And although this record does center around those styles that are a little bit less dance-centered and house-centered and trance-centered, it's still pretty heavily EDM influenced, and you'll definitely enjoy it if you're a fan of Cascade. And if you're a fan of classic techno and house, then this is definitely the kind of record that you will like. And I bought it. I can promise you it is a good listen. Not necessarily the best thing you'll ever hear, but I would definitely suggest using it for maybe a long ride if you want to talk over it, or just as a background album for if you're having a party or something. Anyway, I'm going to give this record a solid 7. I felt like this described the record best, based on I've probably given more 7s this year than anything else, because it's the kind of rating that shows that I'm very positive toward it, but it's not exactly perfect, and it doesn't exactly incorporate a lot of different styles, kind of sticks not too far out of the box. And although the production is very solid and the vocals are always nice from Becky, this album isn't perfect. And I'd like to say it was, because I did buy this record and I like to buy basically everything that I think is really good, and everything that I really like I would like to buy a copy of, but I haven't been able to do that a lot. Anyway, I think I've talked enough about this album. Check it out and see what you think of it. A lot of people have positive opinions on this. Haven't heard too much negative about it. In general, this album hasn't been getting a lot of feedback in general. So just check it out and show support to Late Night Alumni. They're a very talented group, and especially with Cascade being in it, you can definitely expect to hear some solid tracks on this, especially like the track Drummer, Runaway, and the This. And I've probably said that 2 or 3 times by now, but you definitely should check this one out. And it does make for a good listen, even if you don't enjoy it for more than once. Definitely check it out, at least for a couple listens. And anyway, that's about all I can say. Hope you guys enjoyed this little review. Sorry that I haven't been reviewing much lately, even though it probably seems like I have now that I've done 3 just today. Hope you guys enjoyed what I've been able to say about this, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.